Hello, our students of First Prep at the Youth Language School Science Department welcomes you. Today we are going to study matter and density and how can we use density to differentiate between different substances. If we have three cubes of different substances, a cube of wood, a cube of iron, and a cube of gold. Each a cube has volume of 1 cubic centimeters. If we calculate their masses, we will observe that they have different masses. So, equal volumes of different substances have different masses, and also equal masses of different substances have different volumes. Why? Because of their different densities. What's meant by density? How can we define density? Density, it is the mass of a unit volume of matter, or it is the mass of 1 cubic centimeter of matter. So, how can we calculate the density of any matter? The density of any matter equals mass over volume. And as we know before, the measuring unit of mass is gram and the measuring unit of volume is cubic centimeter. So the measuring unit of density is gram per cubic centimeter. From this magic triangle, I can calculate the density of any matter. Density equal mass over volume. And I also can calculate the volume. The volume equal mass over density. And the mass equal density times volume. Let's take our problem. Problem models. A piece of iron has a volume of 10 cubic centimeter and a mass of 78 gram. Find its density. As we know, density equal mass over volume. So the density equal its mass equal 78 over 10. It will equal 7.8 gram per cubic centimeter. Another problem, a piece of iron has a density of 0.4 gram per cubic centimeter and a volume of 10-20 cubic centimeter. Find its mass. As we know that the mass equal density times volume, so mass equal 0.4 times 20, it will equal 8 gram. Another problem, calculate the density of a substance whose mass is 35 gram and its volume is 25 cubic centimeter. As we know, the density equal mass over volume and its density equal 35 over 25. It will equal 1.4 gram per cubic centimeter. Now we are going to study an experiment for determining the density of a liquid. To calculate the density of any matter, we must know its mass and its volume. So how can we calculate the mass of any liquid? The mass of any liquid equal the mass of cylinder containing the liquid minus the mass of empty cylinder. For example, If I have an empty cylinder, its mass equal 75 gram, and its mass when it containing a liquid is 135 gram. So the mass of the liquid equal the mass of cylinder containing the liquid minus the mass of empty cylinder. It will equal 60 gram. So I can calculate its density now. Its density equal mass over volume. Mass is 60 over volume is 100. It will equal 0.6 gram per cubic centimeter. So we know how we calculate the mass of the liquid. First, we will calculate the mass of the empty cylinder. Then we calculate the mass of the cylinder containing the liquid. Then we will subtract the mass of empty cylinder from the mass of the cylinder containing the liquid. Then how can we calculate the volume of the solid body? The volume of the solid body, if we have a known volume of the liquid, then we put in it the solid body. It will increase. The amount of the increase of the volume, it will equal the volume of the solid object or the solid body. So the volume of the solid body equal volume of water with the solid body minus the volume of water. Let's take an example. The mass of an iron piece equal 176 gram. When we put it inside 60 cubic centimeter of water, the water rises up to 80 cubic centimeter. Find the density of the iron. As we know, the volume of the iron piece equal the volume of the liquid containing the solid object minus the volume of the liquid. It will give me 20 cubic centimeter, and the density of a piece of iron equals the mass over the volume. It will equal 8.8 gram per cubic centimeter. Let's study the relation between the density of water and other substances. Let's take an example. If we have different substances such as glass, metal, plastic, and wood. Let's study an experiment. Fill a bowl with water and put the following substances. These different substances such as a piece of wood, a piece of cork, an iron nail, a piece of wax, an ice cube, drop of oil. What will we observe? We will observe that some substances float on water surface and other substances sink in water. What is the reason? The reason that the substances that have density less than the density of water, it will float over the surface of water. But the substances that have the density more than the density of water, it will sink. And we must know that the density of water is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. So the substances that has density higher than or more than 1 gram per cubic centimeter, it will sink in water, but substances that has density less than 1 gram per cubic centimeter, it will float over the surface of water. Let's study life applications on the density. First, we can't put off the petrol file with water, or we can't extinguish petrol fires with using water. Why? Because the density of petrol or oil is less than the density of water. So petrol floats on the water surface and burn continue. Another life applications on density, balloons full of hydrogen or helium. In celebration, we fill the balloons with hydrogen or helium gases. Why? Because the hydrogen and the helium gases have densities less than air. It will rise up in air carrying flags during festivals. Because the density of hydrogen or helium is less than the density air. So if I ask you complete space, and space are gases that has density less than air. Hydrogen and helium. Excellent. So hydrogen and helium have density less than the density of water. Another life application, we use the density property to detect the quality of powdered milk. How can we use the density to detect the quality of powdered milk? First, take some of the powdered milk and determine its mass and volume, and we will calculate its density. Its density equal the mass over the volume. Then, its density, compare its density with that of natural milk. As we know that the density of natural milk is 1.3 gram per cubic centimeter. So we use the density property to check the purity of different metals.